playing, how I believe he is a rising star in politics. And Jason was right out there tweeting with me that he's just a Winter Soldier, and thank you for the love and support. And we definitely, he's one of the good guys, folks, on the show, and we always love having him on. And we'll definitely have him on again in the near future. Going to transition a little bit from RNC just for a second, because I think we need to acknowledge how do I put this the right way? We need to acknowledge that there is a force working against all of us for the sake of a quote-unquote movement to bring awareness to violence against minorities called Black Lives Matter. And this week there was another shooting, an execution-style shooting in Kansas City, Kansas, of a captain of their police force. And again, I'm not seeing anyone take responsibility for the actions of the Black Lives Matter movement for what has happened here. And yes, Don Lemon can go on CNN and be their apologist as much as they want, talking about how they are preaching a message of peace. But this is the same organization that did not speak out when protesters in the People's Republic of New York City were chanting, "What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want it? Now." They did not speak up in Ferguson when the video got out of people singing made-up Christmas carols, talking about decking the halls with rows of dead cops. I'm not making this up, folks. It's on Twitter. And it's not only on Twitter, it's on YouTube. You can see the videos. You can hear the chants for yourself. But just going on TV and saying, well, we denounced that, so you can't talk to us about that, is a bunch of bull. For months now, even almost a year, I would say, probably over a year, if you really think about it, this movement has been at the forefront of creating an anti-police sentiment. What did you think was going to happen when you're out there chanting, "What do we want? Dead cops"? Did you think that nobody was going to try to harm a police officer? Did you think that people wouldn't actually take that message to heart and act on it? How irresponsible is that to say, well, we're a movement of peace and we don't believe in violence and it's not one of our people doing it, yet still incite people to do it? Come on, everybody. We need to get real about this topic. Last week I talked about this topic and I was tiptoeing around and trying to use words carefully to not come out and sound like a belligerent, ignorant person. But if your anger, and I don't care what color you are, if your anger isn't up about the black lives that also wear blue, that apparently don't matter, if your anger isn't up about the loss of a public servant, no matter what color they are, just as much as your anger should be up when someone else is killed by a police officer by accident or for whatever motive there may be or may come out to, then folks, you're not doing life right. Yes, Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter too, Yellow Lives Matter, Brown Lives Matter, whatever colors out there, those lives matter too. Everyone matters. That's why we have a set of rules that talk about equal protection under the law. That's why we have a set of laws and decisions talking about how classes of people that have been disadvantaged need protection. Classes of people should not be discriminated against, no matter what the classes are, and especially race should not be discriminated against by government. Government is out there, forget about government being out there. People are out there trying to rein this in. And if you're a peaceful protester that is out there and interacting with the police and, hugging your fellow man out there, I believe in your right to protest 110%. You deserve to be out there. You're American. Your voice should be heard. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. But if you're one of those people out there chanting for the death of another human being because they wear a uniform, you're part of the problem. And if you're one of those people leading a movement that has people chanting for the death of a fellow human being because they wear a uniform and you don't speak up about it timely, you're part of the problem too. Had to get it off my chest, folks. Sorry to go off topic. But when I see these things and I see rhetoric about, it's really gun violence that we should be talking about, or it's some other topic other than, what is going on at hand. It gets me angry. It gets me frustrated. And I know because you're listening to this show, it does the same to you. I hope that you join me in these sentiments, and I hope you join me in these feelings. You know what, folks? We're getting close to being out of time, so we just have time for one final thought. And I just want to bring this around full circle. Because we talked about a couple of different things. We talked about the RNC. We had some fun with Jason Beardsley. And all that, the behind-the-scenes stuff. The story about Ryan Zinke. And what he said about a cleansing fire happening in the Republican Party. Kind of brings it around full circle to what I want to talk about here at the end. In politics, and as in life, there needs to be a renewal. A renewal of values, a reevaluation of your life, all these things. In your personal life, you reevaluate your personal situations, your job situations, your dating situations, your dieting habits. Everything gets reevaluated and change is made accordingly. In your professional life, you evaluate what vendors to use, where to cut costs, who to hire, who to fire, who to give a raise to, who to take on as a client, a whole bunch of different things. Government has not had that reevaluation process, especially party politics, in a very, very long time. I dare say in a generation. There has not been that infusion of new ideas. There's not been that cleansing fire of telling people, you've done your job and you haven't done it as well as you can. Now it's our turn to take control. Donald Trump may indeed be that cleansing fire that the GOP needs, win or lose. If he wins, he does things his way for a while because he proved that it worked, and hopefully the conservative movement gains some benefit from having Donald Trump as president. If he doesn't win, then Republicans are going to have to look into themselves and see why he lost, and if it's because of a fractured party with fractured ideals and a platform that doesn't represent everyone and the best interests of the conservative movement and the big tent that goes along with it, then you know what? It's time to burn it down and start over again. It's time to look in that mirror. And because we have this convention going on, it's the perfect time to look in that mirror. It's time to look at who we are as a party. And if you don't want to be a part of this party, or if you think the party's going in the wrong direction, then don't leave the party. Stay involved, stay active, keep your voice within. I saw people doing a hashtag saying that currently without party, CWP, because they don't agree with what's going on with Republican politics. And they think the best solution is to leave. No. Interact with your fellow Republicans and conservatives and your big tent. Exchange those ideas. Get people involved that agree with you. And if there are more of you than there are of them, you win. Right now, Donald Trump proved that there are more people that support him than don't. And that's why he won. And if you're one of the people that feel like you lost, and you don't like that feeling anymore, don't fold up your tent and leave. Mount up, gather up, start getting your own people together, get your own movement going, and maybe you'll win next time. Politics is not a sport for spectators. Don't put yourself on the sidelines just because you lost a round. And let's not bash fellow conservatives anymore. It's time to unite as a party. It's time to get together for that big win. And if we don't get that big win, there'll be another win down the road, hopefully for the hearts and minds of the party. And that's my final thought. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. I want to thank Jason Beardsley for coming on the show. I want to thank everybody in the chat room for coming on the show. But for now, Gene Baradelli behind enemy lines from the People's Republic of New York City. We are out of here. Good night, folks. See you next week.
Our position has been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A rock radio production. Copyright 2016. Back in 7 days. Out.